I've tried to find the best setting to do this in, but looking that way is an absolute mess. But if I go outside, we've been on and off with the rain, so I don't really want to be out there and then just get like dumped on. It's been a hot second since the last video. I've just been working sort of non-stop between sort of Sydney and Thredbo and just bouncing all over the place, and then going up to Queensland to go visit my partner. So I've run out of time. But I'm hoping over the next couple of weeks I'll smash out a few different things. I've already done a couple things. I've done some mods to the skyline. I fixed up the headlights, changed I think it's a H3C globe, and just did a little conversion to a H3 globe, and then I got a little makeover on the headlights as well. But yeah, I got loads of parts for different cars. Most of it's the Skyline and the WX, but I've honestly sort of forgotten what half of it is. So you're gonna come on this journey with me to figure out what we got coming up. And then I guess sort of a quick little personal update. Yep, the hair's gone. It's kind of a bit grotty this morning. I went for a little run. So that got cut and donated last weekend. So the hair gets donated, made into wigs for children with cancer, and then any of the funds that gets raised, that goes to helping sort of treatments, the actual production costs of the wig. There's a whole sort of read up on the site. I'm gonna quickly insert with the sort of channel/life update stuff. Ignore the mess that suddenly appeared up here. I do have a new camera as well. So I've got like my big camera that I've been using for like the last sort of 5 or 6 years whenever I do like the car meets and all that sort of stuff. And then when I do DIY stuff, I've been using the GoPro, because the big camera is just, it's big. It's chunky, it's annoying to set up. The battery life is absolutely horrendous on it. But what I've got now is I've got a little Sony point and shoot, and the battery life is probably equally as bad, but I can charge it like through the camera, versus the other one I have to charge each battery sort of out of the camera. And it means that I have something that's small enough to sort of maneuver around while I'm under the cars and that sort of stuff, but it's going to give me a bit nicer quality compared to, say, the GoPro. But it also does have a mic input, so on the windy days I can take a mic out there, chuck one of the, I think it's called a Dead Cat, the wind socks onto it, and that's just gonna sort of help my life a lot more when it comes to editing the videos and trying to like figure out, oh, do I really need to keep this little voiceover, like do I need to make a voiceover because the wind is just like ripping through that thing. Yeah, I've really been enjoying this camera. I went and filmed Subinats on it. The video should either be up before or after this, I don't know. And we're gonna go on this beautiful journey of seeing lots of money, or what used to be lots of money, come across this table. I've got some new ball joints for the Skyline, so that's gonna be going up the front. So that thing's gonna be getting a whole refresh on pretty much all of the bushes around there. Even today, I'm gonna be, once I film this, I'm gonna be jumping under it because I'll be replacing, I'm quite excited about this, getting some genuine Nismo parts onto the Skyline. These ones are engine mounts, so these are for GTR's GTS4, which is what this one is. Nismo mounts, and then to go along with it, Nismo gearbox mount as well. So the reason why I wanted to do, I mean, I was going to replace the gearbox mount anyway with this stuff, but the reason why I sort of tried to hurry along with getting these parts is because there's a bit of a thud underneath the car when you sort of get on and off the gas or like changing gears. I thought it was the gearbox sort of flapping around. Turns out it's not, it's the rear diff. Those bushes are completely shot out. Just as well, I have I don't think this one has the rear diff bushes, but these ones, big bag of white line stuff. So all of this is Skyline stuff. So sway bar mounts, and then these are all just control arm mounts. They're all the same bush, but I needed like 4 or 5 bags of them. And then to go with it, one of these boxes, I believe it's this box. This one should have some GK Tech stuff into it, which is, alright, sick. These are my diff bushes. So I've got some fresh diff bushes to replace the ones that are in there. They're hammered. Hopefully the video shows it clear enough that I insert wherever. Subframe, cool. So I've got some diff bushes, subframe bushes. That's all for the rear. All the white line bushes for all the control arms for the rear. I haven't really got anything for the front yet, just because the rear end is sort of the most jankiest looking area. This one, little pillar pods, because there's a few more gauges I want to chuck in it, but I don't want to be sort of drilling holes through the dash. So this one goes up on the pillar. I won't be able to get it. Sitting down. Don't lift this when sitting down. Boy, we got ourselves brand new clutch kit. So the clutch in the Skyline is pretty toasted. If I hop on it on first or second gear, it stinks very, very badly. This is a full kit, so clutch, pressure plate, flywheel, and then when I do this, I still need to order it in. Do the rear main seal as well while it's all out. I think in terms of Skyline, that's it for that one. Moving on to the WRX. I bought an STI intercooler from a 2014, 2015 intercooler, I think. So these apparently are one of the most efficient Subaru intercoolers that they have made, but because I'm sort of changing my plan with the WRX, I sort of want to do more of like an OEM plus type of build on it, rather than like I've got the big front mount, the gold Mishimoto intercooler up there. I don't think I'm going to ever be running sort of 400, 500 horsepower in the thing. I think I only ever want to hit sort of like the 300, 350 maybe. So yeah, just a 2014-15 STI intercooler. I'll have to sort of figure out some brackets for it, like make my own brackets to make it all fit. But that's going to be sort of one of the next things that actually comes on very soon. But the bloke I bought it off, absolute legend. So he had his STI. He's put a bunch of new stuff on. I think he put a Press S West onto his car, and then he did like injectors, fuel pump, all that sort of stuff. So he had the STI injectors as well, the STI Blues, and he just gave them to me. He's like, yeah, look, I'm gonna have no use for them anymore. Have some STI injectors, so these will be super handy, and saves me like $400 to get STI injectors. I'm not going to be doing that much power on the thing anyway. The engine has 300,000 Ks on it, close to 300,000 Ks. I'm not going big turbo or anything on it to need big injectors just yet, so a set of free STI injectors, gonna take them. Maintenance stuff though, it does need some new valve cover, rocker cover, whatever you want to call it. Get some new gaskets on it, and then I've also got some billet half moon end caps. I think that's what they're called. Those are from Ryder Racing, and they're also lost somewhere in the mess of the stuff up the back there. Speaking of getting the thing tuned, we also have a Grimspeed 3-port boost controller. So this sort of helps the tuners. So this won't necessarily make more power, but it'll make it reliably, more consistently, more stable. And then tuners apparently really like having those on there as well versus the stock ones. I think this is for the Subaru. Ah, yep. Air fuel ratio. So wideband sensor shows your air fuel ratio. This will either go in the Skyline or the Subaru. Ideally, I'd buy another one so that I can have one in both. Just because it's probably nice to know if the thing is about to blow up or if I'm good to keep sort of pushing it. I think I got this for the Lancer because the oil temp gauge, I actually can't remember if it's oil temp or oil pressure. One of the oil gauges in the Lancer either shows nothing or the thing's about to shoot some pistons to the moon. So I figured why not try one of these. It's just a generic eBay one. A CN Speed, high performance, high quality, fast and furious oil temp gauge. And to sort of help out with that install, oil filter sandwich plate. I don't know, sandwich plate. That goes in before the oil filter. Oil filter screws onto the bottom of this, and then you can sort of chuck your ports and stuff off there. That runs to that thing, gives you your information. This one, for the Subaru, I'm kind of excited for this one. I'm going to be doing like a retrofit to the headlights. So, we get ourselves our little halos. I'm not a huge fan of the chrome. That's probably going to get painted in some sort of gloss black. Comes as like a whole kit and everything, so you can use all that to sort of plug everything in. And then we'll sort of be converting the actual headlights over to sort of a projector style. I think, are these called a projector style? Projector style headlights. Just to try out something different, I guess. And if it looks like shit, or if it doesn't work, then there is a set of headlights that I have seen. If I didn't already have this, I probably would have bought them. Now we're sort of getting into... This is really unknown territory. I have no idea what's in these ones. Another fun little eBay part. This is just a coolant overflow. There's currently a Rockstar can being used as an overflow in the Lancer. What are you then? I don't know. It's been sitting collecting dust. Wheel nuts. Some stainless. Some steel wheel nuts. Don't get them aluminium things. I got these because they're like just the regular hex heads nuts versus it's like that weird security nut key thing on the Skyline. So I think I bought these to replace them. So this is a dash mat for the WRX because like the Skyline, these cars are getting older. People are jacking prices up on stuff. And I just sort of want to protect the dash just that little bit more. Is this for the WRX? Because I feel like I ordered one for the Corolla as well. Yep. WRX, cool. And then I've got one of these for the Corolla floating around. I haven't managed to find it. It could be in the Corolla, actually. Ooh, okay. Nice. Catch can. Because running a turbo car, you're putting a bit more pressure into the sort of everywhere. Oil goes through the intake system and then back into your engine, and that lowers your but what a catch can does is that breather, the ventilation from the valve cover head, rocker cover head, that tube goes back to your intake system. What this does is sort of sit somewhere on that line, and then it separates the air and the oil so that it catches the oil and then sends just the clean air back through the intake system. Why that's important is because if you don't run that, probably insert a clip of a bunch of oil coming out of this intercooler from the previous owner because they didn't have a catch can at the time. That's not what you want to be going into your intake. Don't know if this is a... We might have to modify it a little bit to make it a little bit more efficient. It's just like an empty... I don't know if it's going to see it or focus on it. I'll put some sort of filtration system in this. It's not the biggest catch can, but I'm also not doing track days. It's just something to sort of check. You know, it's got the little dipstick on there, check at each drive. And if I find that it sort of fills up too quickly or fills up on a drive, then one, that's very concerning and I should probably figure out what's actually happening to my engine. And two, I'll get a bigger one as well. I probably won't, actually. I'll just figure out what's wrong with the engine and why it's pushing so much oil through. Alright, sick. The last one. This is what I'm excited for. Because it means I am one step closer to getting the Subaru tuned. So this is the same intake that is being run on Rachel's Forester. It's an absolute job to do. It does sort of simplify some of the tubing, the piping a little bit more because it does move one of the inlets, outlets, whatever. It moves one of them from sort of at the front here, which sort of makes it really annoying to install. Moves it back here so that you've only got the recirculating valve or bypass valve. And then once this is on, because I have to take the intercooler off anyway to do this job, this intercooler is going to go on. And then that's my intake stuff done. Injectors, 3-port, and the O2 sensor. Get all that on, book it in for a tune, pray and hope the thing doesn't blow up. Oh yeah, this is my first day off in like 3 or 4 months of like actually being at home. Because usually my day off is I'm driving 5 hours either up back home or down to the snow, or I'll be flying up to Bree's place to go and visit her, and there's just I'm accumulating so much. So yeah, that's a little, I don't know how little this video actually is, update on sort of the cars, what's happening with them, the stuff that's going to be coming up for them, and just some general channel updates.